you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Bashar, the last NDAA that we just enacted some of the most sweeping changes to the Uniform Code of Military Justice since it's been created. To allow the military services to implement these reforms, we put into place a 2-year implementation period. And with your background, people have heard me talk about this, but why is it so important for the Air Force to have time to implement these changes?
Senator Inhofe, sexual assault in any context is reprehensible. Sexual assault in the context of the military is particularly destructive because of its impact on unit cohesion and force readiness. The changes that the Congress have approved, taking specific crimes out of the chain of command, as well as the IRC recommendations that have been embraced by the Department of Defense, are substantial undertakings and are going to require really sustained commitment from military commanders across the field, as well as the other senior leaders within the organization. And so the goal is to get it right, naturally. And if confirmed, that's what I would try to do.
And to get it right, it does take time sometimes. Mr. Storch, I've heard some people recently calling for the use of artificial intelligence to monitor service members' communications in order to root out potential extremists before they. To me, this is one of the most outrageous things that I've ever heard. And I'd just ask you, in your view, what are the risks to service members' civil liberties from using artificial intelligence to monitor their activities? And how would you ensure that service members' civil liberties are protected?
Ranking Member Inhofe, as indicated in my initial statement, artificial intelligence and emerging technologies is an issue in which I've taken particular interest in the IG community, and I lead the IG community's subcommittee in that area, where we're looking at ways to do oversight over its use. Additionally, at NSA OIG, we've been looking at that, and we currently have a joint review that's pending, actually with the Department of Defense IG, looking at the integration of artificial intelligence into the NSA SIGINT activities to ensure that that's being done in compliance with DoD and IC guidelines. So those are issues with which I'm generally familiar, and if confirmed, I would work with the team at the DoD IG to examine the issue you've identified and welcome the opportunity to engage with you and your staff on any concerns.
Sure, and I know that's why I asked you the question, because you have that familiarity and that background.
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Storch, there have been thousands of requests from the service members for religious accommodations to the department's COVID vaccine mandate, and there have only been 12 accommodations granted thus far. That's 3 for Marines, and I think the 9 of them for airmen. And each of those service members is already planning to leave. So does it seem reasonable to you that services would grant only 12 religious accommodations when they have received over some 10,000 requests? And I'm not going to ask you, there wouldn't be time to answer anyway how you want to correct this situation, but will you commit to reviewing this issue and so we can have something in place to correct the problem?
So the OIG obviously has jurisdiction over all programs and operations of the department. I know that the office has been engaged in looking at different aspects of the COVID response and has a pending audit related to the vaccine distribution plan. It's a rapidly changing situation. If I'm confirmed, I certainly will commit to meeting with the team at the OIG and discussing the situation as it then exists. And if it's appropriate to do a review, then looking forward to pursuing that. That's something I discussed with the team and would welcome the opportunity to discuss with you as well, sir.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Inhofe. Senator Shaheen, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to each of the nominees